Oh, hi Ness, how you doing?
I'm good, yes. I'm really excited to be meeting you this morning. Yeah, we've got so much to talk about.
Definitely. And I was thinking it'd be really good, first of all, for us to talk about why we've chosen the topic we've chosen for the retreat, Soothing Childhood Abandonment. What do you want to say about that title?
Okay, so initially I just want to say, yeah, I mean, how exciting it is that we're running this retreat in Goa in November the 17th to the 27th, just getting the dates right there. And yeah, we had a chat, and we've got lots of background together, haven't we, Amanda? Which we might talk about in a minute. But yeah, we were together on a retreat, running a retreat together, and you just kind of said to me, "Shall we do something together in Goa? Because you've got a lot of connections with Goa. I know you live out there for part of the year in that, and so yeah, we kind of yeah, let's get together, let's do this retreat." And so we thought about the topics, didn't we? And soothing childhood abandonment was what we came up with because of so much of what we know about that kind of stuff. I mean, my personal journey with that is I'm a boarding school. I called myself a boarding school casualty, and casualty is not a very nice word, really. But I didn't recognize this stuff until I'd been in my own recovery journey for quite a few years, actually, because I'm in recovery from addictions. And I went to treatment, met you when I was in treatment, 2 decades ago now. But the childhood abandonment, I didn't recognize actually that I was an abandoned child until I've really got involved with some other kind of people who did this stuff around boarding school syndrome. And I recognized that
Mm.
when I was age 9, I basically left home and went and lived with a bunch of strangers. And I shut down at that point. And from that point, I learned all these coping strategies to manage that abandonment at that age. So for me,
Mm.
it's a really great topic. And over the years, I've worked as a therapist for many years now, and I've recognized that there's so many people who have childhood abandonment, but there's often different ways that that's manifested in our lives.
Mm.
I know your story is slightly different to mine. Um, but yeah, maybe you could like share, your kind of thoughts on.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of, I think there's such a correlation between what happened to me as a little girl and my relationship with myself.
Yeah.
And that really, I had a mum who was a very heavy drinker and a dad who and they divorced and then my mum remarried another very heavy drinker. I suppose you'd say alcoholics, functioning alcoholics. And so and this is the whole thing with abandonment. It doesn't have to be active abandonment. Someone can still be there and abandon you. And that was what my mum was. She wasn't emotionally present because of her drinking and a codependency around my stepfather. And then my dad physically wasn't there. So I had the physical abandonment and the emotional abandonment. And what I know is I was brought up again with this sort of I think I sort of think there's something to do with classes as well for me. I would say my family are quite well to do, and there's something about that the children in all the places, all my friends' houses where we grew up, the kids always were in a separate space to the adult. I never sat in the lounge. I literally lived in my bedroom. And so my damage when I got clean was this self-hatred, this massive self-loathing, where the inner critic would just continually tell me I was ugly, I was a piece of shit, and I had this real toxic shame actually that I just felt wrong in my own body. And through going on this journey to find out why I hated myself was all of this stuff around what happened to me as a little girl, codependency and the abandoning of myself actually through the trauma of growing up in a family where I was neglected, emotionally neglected and not loved. And I feel like by doing the work that sits under the addiction, this codependency and that's what I realized when I did all this coda work, that in the first step four, underneath all my relationships where I couldn't be honest with people, was the abandonment. And by healing the abandonment, starting to move within and learn to love myself and to do the inner child work, to form a relationship with my inner child, what has happened has this healing, this empty space that was this cavernous hole that I filled with people and nice clothes and shiny things. And, it was all about looking good on the outside when I first got clean. And actually, today's Just for Today was about the inside job. And the inside job for me was going within, was walking into my own story and getting to know little Amanda and learning to love little Amanda and be that parent that I never had. And that's really the crux of the abandonment, of me to turn up and be the loving parent I never had. And that's what we're going to do on this retreat. We're going to do a combination of inner child, learning about codependency, looking at the relationship with ourselves, tackling the inner critic. There's going to be so much in there that has revolutionized my recovery, transformed me from somebody that was an external validator. I flirted for the first 10 years because I needed people to love me. And the beautiful thing is now I love myself and I don't need that external validation. And we got clean together, Ness. We did treatment together. We were mad and crazy. And it's taken years of work to get to where I am today, where I feel whole and I feel filled up and I feel full of self-love. And I spot it in others so much, that stuff of the abandonment, playing out, sabotaging in relationships, pushing people away because I don't know how to let someone see who I am. And so this is what the retreat is for. It's for people like myself that come from that struggle. And maybe you're very at the beginning of the journey where you just know you don't like yourself much. That could be it. Maybe it's you're in relationships and you don't know how to do them, and you have lots of problems and lots of control and lots of caretaking or lots of passive doormat stuff. Wherever you are on this journey is going to be a deep healing journey to start to transform how you are on an inner level with yourself. So and Goa is the most beautiful spiritual place to do it. That's the other thing that I want to say, that Goa is one of those places where you step off the plane, from the moment you smell it and see it, it is a beautiful it's like a sort of really spiritual place. I always feel very close to my higher power there. The beaches are beautiful. You've got blue skies, you've got lovely sand. You've got also the reality that we can get in people to come and do work, body workers, massage people, chanting. I've got lovely Adam and her name's gone right out of my head. That's menopause for you. Adam and Viriam, that's it, who are going to come in and do some singing for us. We're going to get in some amazing people and all very affordable prices. So it's going to be a really fantastic 10 days. And people that come on this are going to have a real special treat. The food is amazing. Goa is, it's, if you've never been to India before, this is going to be a handheld experience. And we are going to, you're going to feel looked after from the minute you get to the airport. And it will be something that will open your eyes to how beautiful Mother India is as well. And the healing that goes on within that. India always, when I go there, I have moments where Mother India always teaches me something, whether I'm there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. So there's always a spiritual journey because there's not many distractions in Goa. So what else do you want to add,
Well, you
Ness, to
spell it
that?
really well, Amanda. You really do. And yeah, I mean, the whole kind of, I mean, for me, going to India is been a massive, it's actually on my 10-year plan, is to actually go to India at some point. So yeah, that's happening for me. And doing this retreat with you is just amazing. And it's really interesting. I think you and I are going to work really well together. on this, but it's really interesting how I mean you articulate this, you say this, about what we're doing, and it's so wonderful, and it's really kind of, you really brought about the atmosphere of the whole thing. And just to kind of put on the other side of the aspect of that inner child abandonment, and even as you talk, my inner child abandonment is going, and I'm going to say this out loud because I know I can with you, and this is how we're going to work on the retreat together, because my inner child abandonment's like, you're saying nothing, nobody's going to want to listen to you, Amanda's talking so well, like you might as well just stay quiet. And that was how my inner child
Mm.
worked when I was in boarding school. I went back into the distance. I disappeared. So no, I wouldn't have to do the work of actually standing up for myself, saying, because it was too tough. So I abandoned my inner child because I wouldn't let her speak. I wouldn't let her. It was easier for me to do that. That was my safety net, was to just disappear into myself. And so if you identify with that as well, this retreat is really for you as well. There's going to be all those type, like we said earlier, there's so many different ways that our inner child, we abandoned our inner child, and the inner critic is really, really loud. I love the work around the inner critic. I was only doing this actually yesterday with a client, and it was like those clarity moments of like, oh yeah, actually, and building that relationship with your inner critic, because it's always going to be there. It's always there, and it's always going to be telling you all that stuff. However, you can build a relationship and you can stand up and have that empowerment in your life. And it's just, like you said, Amanda, it's so freeing to do this work. I am a completely different person, as you know, Amanda, to the one that I was when I first came through the door of that rehab. I was a quiet little mouse. I was one of those, I hate that word doormat. I really do. If anybody ever said that to me, I go, don't say that, because it feels, I've got so much shame around that. But that's what I was. I let everybody
Mm.
else take control of stuff because it felt like an easier, softer option. But and this is why I used drugs, was to cover up those feelings of not being in my purpose, of not being able to live. And I can honestly say as well, like yourself, Amanda, I live the life that I've dreamed of today. I make choices for myself. I have a business which I've been running for the last 7 years. Prior to that, I did loads of work in therapy. I'm a psychotherapist myself. And the business is around running retreats. I've probably run about 35 retreats over the last 7 years. And I've lost count actually. I remember doing the celebration at 25. But retreats are because I've worked in residential treatment, and most of my career has been residential treatment. So I understand and enjoy and really feel the power of, and I know my clients do as well, of the power of being in a group, doing this work together. And being in wonderful India as well, being in Goa, doing that, when it's not going to be like intensive, where we're going to be like every day on doing this deep
No,
work, that's going to be too much,
no.
isn't it? So we're going to have
Exactly.
days where we're off doing our own, not doing our
Yeah.
own thing. We will guide you, we will support you. So, we might go off to the beach, or we go to a market, and, it's going to be fun. It's going to be intense. I mean, your yoga is powerful. You do some amazing massage as well, Amanda. I've experienced that on the Devon retreat we did together. So yeah, I mean, if this is calling to you and you're like, yeah, this sounds like me, it's not huge amounts of money. It's 10 days of working on yourself. It's an opportunity not to be missed, really. That's my
Definitely.
piece.
And also we're going to have loads of fun. The other
Yeah,
beautiful thing about Goa is it's
yeah,
the whole hedonistic community. So we've got ecstatic dance that runs 2, 3 times a week down the road in Arundel. We're gonna go and be crazy and let our inner children to come
yeah,
out and play and be spontaneous and
yeah,
jump in the ocean and just be a little bit, to let go of this whole sort of confines of let's be normal. The wonderful thing about Goa is there's everything you can imagine, mad and wild, crazy things. We'll take you to the drumming circle in the evening. We'll go jumping in the sea at sunset. You know, it is a very beautiful place. We've got we're going to do a deserted beach day where we go and have a proper Indian thali for the day. We're going to do markets, you know, so there's going to be lots of exciting stuff and lots of fun stuff to intersperse the work, you
Yeah.
know. So it's not going to just be work, you know, and intense, and it's going to be joyful. It's going to be joyful because you're going to leave with something tangible. You're going to you're going to leave with new ways of being in relationships, new ways of being with yourself. You're going to leave with a toolbox of tools that you can start to use in relationships,
Yeah.
which are going to be healthy tools, you know, and most of us need that. I know I really needed to learn about what healthy relationships look like and how to learn to look after myself in a relationship. So it's gonna be an amazing program. It's going to be packed to the hilt, and you can dip in and out of the program. You don't have to take part in everything. We'll most probably do some active meditation stuff as well, where we'll do some Osho stuff, shaking and running around the room. We'll also do lots of lovely guided meditations as well, inner child meditations, and there'll be bonfires, there'll be dancing round the we'll have some meetings on the beach. We're, you know, it's going to be really, really packed full of fun activities. So, you know, if you're thinking, and also we can do a payment plan, you know, it's only July at the moment, so November is a long time away. So if you want to just do the deposit and then do monthly payments, that's fine. We want to make it accessible to everybody. So come and join Ness and I for an amazing 10 days in November, and I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, can't wait. Bye. See you soon.